What? Why am I getting a call from... It's the middle of dinner. What's this all about? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Pharaoh Wizard. I'd like to give you a one-time opportunity for a brand new intro for a really great rate.
A new intro, huh? You know what? I think that would be pretty good. How about you put me down for one?
Sure, would you like to use it now?
Yeah, let's do it right now.
Alright, very good. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Hey, wait a minute, that was the same intro. Hey everybody, Sexy Matt the Pharaoh Wizard here with another small indie, harder to find movie. I don't know if it's really an independent or not, but, you know, a smaller movie. Sorry to bother you. The writing and directorial debut of Boots Riley. So what did I like, what did I dislike? Let's talk about it. So the plot is hard to explain. Well, basically, it's, you know, a young man joining the workforce, finding something he's good at, and figuring out his way through modern day capitalism. In a sense, it's a theatrical version of...
Maybe Lisa's right about America being a land of opportunity, and maybe Adil has a point about the machinery of capitalism being oiled with the blood of the workers.
So yeah, I know it's not a very good plot synopsis, but it's hard to explain this movie. It's something you kind of have to see. But I'm going to try as hard as I can to give you a decent review of it. So let's talk about the characters. So our lead role is played by Lakeith Stanfield, who plays Cassius Green. You might recognize him from another racially... charged movie, Get Out.
Well, I find that the African-American experience for me has been, for the most part, very good. Although, I find it difficult to go into detail as I haven't had much desire to leave the house in a while.
She was also awesome in that, but it does prove that he needs to stop going into rich white people's mansions. It never ends well for him. Get into that later. But he was fantastic. He was a really good everyman, dealing that weird line of, you know, compromising your morals, but also needing to make a living for yourself, and, you know, how you work in, say, society, in, you know, in capitalism, and, you know, where's the line between being a good person and also making a living? Where do you fit in your own race? He deals with a lot of that. It's a very awesome, well done role. He was fantastic in it. I loved him. And we have Westworld's Tessa Thompson playing his girlfriend, Detroit. She was also fantastic. So she's this total, you know, free spirit activist and artist, and, you know, plays a contrast to Cassius Green's trying to get ahead in life. But he also is trying to please her, and she's like his conscience in a lot of times, in a lot of ways. She's fantastic once again, very awesome. One person I definitely want to bring up is Stephen Yeun playing Squeeze. Of course, he's, you know, from The Walking Dead. And I guess I just took for granted how good he is in The Walking Dead, because I kind of forgot. And he is fantastic in this. He is really good. So he works for the same phone company that Cassius Green gets hired at, and he's trying to start, you know, getting them organized and becoming a union. And so he's kind of like a rabble-rouser. But he's so good in this, and I guess looking back, he was always good in The Walking Dead too, but I kind of forgot. But he is fantastic. And finally, we have Armie Hammer playing Steve Lift, who's kind of like a parody of like Steve Jobs slash Elon Musk, or like, you know, that the big rich industrialist, the you know, owner of a company kind of guy. And man, Armie Hammer's really good at playing a rich white asshole. Like, he was the Winklevoss twins. I think you've seen him in another movie doing it. Like, he does it really well, almost to a scary degree. Like, why is he such an asshole? Like, why is he good at that? It kind of makes you worried. But he is fantastic. I loved what he did. I can't go into too much detail, but it's very awesome. So what did Sorry to Bother You do well? Well, I'm trying to do this without spoiling too much, so please bear with me. I'm trying not to give away too many details. It's definitely something you need to see for yourself. But yeah, this movie, one thing is it's full of different subtexts and, subterfuge and satire, all sorts of things. It talks about, race in the modern world, modern day capitalism, all in this heightened, different environment, and it's really awesome. If you want something that you want to be able to discuss and tear apart and look deep into, it's very much that movie. It's very artsy. It's not your average structured movie. It's all over the place, but just makes you think so much about everything. It's fantastic at doing. And I'm sure, as you notice from my previous talking about the characters, is the acting in this is fantastic. Everyone brings their A game. The director, being this is for his first movie, did a fantastic job. Everyone brings their A game. There's no wasted characters. Everyone serves a purpose. It's such a tight, well-made movie. He did just such a great job on his first run, and everyone turned in a stellar performance. No complaints from me. Another thing I really liked is this movie is freaking nuts. You might think you know where it's going, but you don't know. It takes so many just right turns, just wild right turns out of nowhere. You're just like, whoa, where are we now? What happened? Holy crap, what's that? Oh shit. Like, it goes all over the place, but it doesn't feel like it's a weird trip movie. Like, it's all based in its own rules, and it doesn't go on, like a 70s trip or anything. Like, it's generally grounded, but it's not really grounded either. It's very weird, but it's very solid. It's hard to explain, but it definitely goes crazy, but in a great way, and I love it. And I mentioned before, it's got some great biting satire, and it's very solid at doing that. It's exactly kind of what they're hinting at, but it's not terribly overt, and it's also left open enough for interpretation that I really enjoyed it. But no movie is perfect. Where does Sorry to Bother You fall short? Well, although not a negative for me, this movie is not made for the popular audience. That's why it's not getting a huge release. It's not a big blockbuster. It's not meant to please everyone. Some people may find it very disturbing. Some people may find it way too crazy and weird. If you're really into just a basic 3-act structure, just a straight storyline, narrative driven, this is probably not your movie. This one jumps all over the place. But yeah, it's definitely not a mainstream movie. This is something weird and out there, but so you may or may not like that. The other part is I don't think it's a negative, but some people might. This is one of the first times I've seen a movie that had more peenie than gazongas, if you know what I mean. More wiener than tatas. Which, yeah, you don't usually see that. It's got a fair amount of wiener in it, and I didn't really mind, but it's kind of interesting that there's more wiener than boobs. That's something. Now, if you would bear with me, I'm kind of gonna go into my spoiler section, but not really spoilers as much as I actually want to do some serious analysis and discussion of this movie. Try something a little different, but this movie really made me think about some things I'd like to discuss. But I am taking the kid gloves off, so if you don't want to be spoiled by anything, jump to this time code here, because I'm just going to be talking about things from the movie and what they made me think about. So as I mentioned before, this movie deals a lot with modern day capitalism, and I am a huge fan of capitalism. I think it's a great system. I think it gives us a lot of opportunity to choose to, if you just want to get a basic job and then have fun stuff on the side, or if you want to, crack down and, hit the top of your, ladder of your field. If if you want to choose to open a business and, succeed or fail on your own merits, we have that choice. And I really love that about capitalism. That being said, in today's world, it has been perverted. Obviously, the use of underpaid labor in foreign countries so that we can have cheap stuff, as well as just the American public wanting things cheaper. You would not pay for an iPhone if you had to pay the real price it would take if it was made with really quality internal parts, as well as made by someone who gets paid a good living wage. You would not pay for that iPhone. So it's a weird world that we're in. And then, there's a whole bunch of people, playing the system, claiming they worked really hard when they really didn't, and they scam people. And so the idea of capitalism has been perverted. So I'm very all over the place with what I think of capitalism. And that's why this movie hits me so well, as it goes into that and discusses that. And it's not like one-sided like some hack directors would be like, oh, all corporations are bad, capitalism's bad. No, it's a gray area like most things in life. So Cassius gets his job at the telemarketing firm, and he wants to work his way up because his uncle's house is going to be taken because they can't afford it. And he lives in that house, as well as he doesn't want to see his uncle lose his house as well. So he has to make a living. But, to get up to where he needs to get, it causes him to go against some of his morals and against some of what his friends want to do when they're trying to build the union. He can't be a part of that because he needs to worry about him, which, capitalism also kind of makes a bit of a selfish society where you need to worry about yourself first. But it's hard to worry about other people if you're drowning too. You can't save people if you're also drowning. And it goes into a lot of that, and it's very interesting, as well as the system being perverted. There's a this whole idea going out through the movie where it's this company where you sign a lifetime contract to work for them. So you have a job for life. You're always going to have this job. But you have to live in their facilities, wear their clothes, and they provide the food. And they don't pay you because they're providing everything you would need. But that's pretty much slavery. But I could see a company in today's world selling this as an idea of this workforce in selling slavery back to us. So that the perversion of capitalism in that way is very interesting, and it's kind of interesting to see their take on it, and how it got perverted, and how it can hurt people, and how it can also move you up in life and get all the great things. But are those the great things if it costs your morality? It paints a very great picture, and I enjoyed that. I liked seeing that kind of thing play out, and it made me really think about ideas in capitalism and where we are in this world. There's also just a very poignant line in this movie said by Steven Yeun, and I think it really rang with me. He said, I don't know the exact quote, but I should get pretty close, is, if you present a problem without a solution, people just learn to live with that problem. Man, did that hit home with me really hard. It really made me think specifically of Flint, Michigan, and their water shortage, and then people's awareness of that. So, on my personal Facebook, I have friends and family who post all sorts of political memes and whatnot. For whatever reason, they post all these. And I got one person in particular who constantly posts, Flint, Michigan hasn't had clean water. And no matter what fun you're trying to have in the world, they have to, be a Debbie Downer. Be like, Laurel or Yanny, what about Flint, Michigan doesn't have clean water? And sure, yeah, that's a bad problem, and I understand it's a bad problem. But what do you want me to do about it? You have presented no concrete solutions for this. You just want to put out that idea. So yeah, I have the idea. Okay, it's a bad thing. I have $5 in my bank account and I know nothing about filtering water. So what do you want me to do about it? I saw your post, so what do you want to do? What is your plan to fix it? And that's such a real thing in today's world, where we've gotten caught up so much in just awareness that we forgot, like, what's the solution now that we're all aware. I find it very interesting. During Breast Cancer Month, they still call it Breast Cancer Awareness. I think we're all aware of it. So what's the plan now? And I do understand they do stuff for bringing up charity, for research and things like that. But the fact it's still just called awareness, like, we're all aware. So what's the breast cancer solution? Let's work on that. And yeah, the whole Flint, Michigan thing's like, okay, Flint, Michigan doesn't have clean water. Okay, cool. What are we going to do? And yeah, writing your senators is not a solid solution, and they mentioned that as well. But yeah, as we saw with net neutrality, writing and calling your senators means absolutely dick. I'm sorry if I'm going to be a little cynical right now, but it doesn't do anything. Those people do not work for you whatsoever. We just need to accept that. Sorry to get on my soapbox for a little bit, but yeah, so what's the real plan? I don't know how to fix Flint's water, so what's the plan? So either come up with a plan or shut up. But yeah, really, that's how the world works, though. If you present a problem and don't have a solution for it, even if it's not a good idea, but at least some sort of solution, we are just going to learn to live with the problem. At my job, if you bring up a problem to my boss without any sort of solution, she's going to ignore you because, yeah, okay, that's a problem. What do you want to do about it? Like, you have to present a solution along with or you're just complaining. And that was just such an awesome, little quote I liked in that, and it just really rang true for me. Now, this movie does have a big racial overtone of, acting black and how black are you, and the whole thing with using the white voice and things of those nature. I would love to speak about that, but I really can't. And not in the sense of like it's only a black problem or anything like that, but just it's never been a problem for me. No one's ever accused me of not acting white enough, or use your black voice for this. Like, that would actually be a negative for a white person. So I really can't speak to that. I really wish I could, but that is a thing that is brought up a lot. And how do you fit in your race, and what's expected of your race, and what's it mean to act white? What's it mean to act black? It's very interesting and deep in that sense. I really can't talk about that much. Oh, and while we're in spoilers, there is half men, half horses in this that have giant cocks. Okay? That's definitely a thing in this movie. It's one of those right turns. Yeah. Again, you guys gotta see it. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you for letting me kind of deconstruct and talk about a few things that this movie made me think about. But yeah, in the end, this is a fantastic movie. I loved it. It's a great think piece. It's a very interesting satire into capitalism and racism and race relations and work horses, and it's all over the place, but it's all fantastically done. It's such a tight, smart movie. I absolutely loved it, enjoyed it. I'm definitely giving it the rating of see it in theaters. I don't know how much it's going to be around for people. It's only playing at one theater near me at all. I don't know if it's in Europe at all. But if you get a chance, definitely check out Sorry for Bothering You. It's such a solid, good movie. So did you see Sorry to Bother You? Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up if you want to be part of the capitalist society, and share this video if you could, because if I get my capitalism will get this channel working properly. That's how capitalism works, right? I don't know. But thanks again for watching. I'm Sexy Matt the Pharaoh Wizard. Until next time, hold on to your hold slots.
Slow down, boy, I'm not sorry.